Hello, everyone. We will get started in just a moment. I'm just checking to see if you hear my voice, if you're having any issues with audio. So if you can just raise your hand via the hand raising tool, just so that we know if you can hear us. Great. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Jane Addams College of Social Work. I am Dr. Cassandra McKay, the Associate Dean for Academic Affairs and Student Services, and this webinar has been prepared specifically with you in mind, our advanced standing students. So today we're going to be talking about these 4 different categories as it relates to the MSW program. You enrolling in our program is a proving fact that your commitment to the profession is ongoing. The skills and knowledge that you will continue to acquire as you complete the degree in social work are of utmost value to building better communities, helping others, and forming a thriving society. As a college, while also learning from you, as there is much good work that needs to be done by us as students, as well as those who teach in the social work profession. This seminar is being recorded so that you can watch it again at your convenience. We will share the link with you via email in the next day or so. We will have a Q&A at the end of this presentation to answer or have any follow-up questions answered that you may have. And you are always welcome to email us. You'll see email addresses at the end of this presentation. We've also posted a frequently asked question or FAQ list to accompany this webinar, and I'll be providing you the important email addresses again later at the end of this presentation. In addition to welcoming you to the college, the purpose of this webinar is to provide you with information that will be useful before the start of the academic year regarding the curriculum, registration, the importance of your UIC email, and some of the resources available to you. Please know that our faculty and staff are committed to providing you with the excellent education that Jane Addams is known for. We are excited to be a part of this journey with you and are looking forward to having you in the fall. That said, let me make sure that everyone is properly set up to participate in the webinar and let you know how we'll proceed. The only tool enabled is the Q&A tool. The chat has been disabled. So keep note of your questions and we will respond to your questions again during the Q&A part of the end of this presentation. Again, as I mentioned, there's an FAQ that will be available to review any of the items that we cover, and you'll be able to review those at your leisure. The required plan of study for the specialization curriculum. As an advanced standing student, you have already satisfied what we would consider the generalist plan of study in your BSW program. And so now we begin with the specialized or specialization curriculum. Our program is highly structured and it is important that you take the required courses in the sequence outlined in the required plans, especially as it relates to the time frame designated for the program option. There are 5 specialization options: child and family, mental health, organization and community practice, school social work, and social work within justice systems. You selected your specialization during the application process and have been admitted accordingly. The specialization curriculum, I'll briefly review the plan of study for each of the specialization curriculum with a particular focus on any important differences. For each specialization, you will complete 2 practice courses, an advanced policy course, an advanced research course, 2 electives, and 2 field education courses. As an advanced standing student, you will complete your required classes on Tuesdays and Thursdays from either 8 to 10:50, 1 to 3:50, or 5:30 to 8:20. You may take them at any time you choose. However, we will not hold spaces, thus you should register as soon as possible for the time slot that you want. Let me emphasize that you should plan on having class on 2 days each week, Tuesday and Thursday, and plan on being in your field placement or internship on the days that you are not in class. Electives are offered Monday through Thursday, 1 to 3:50, and Monday through Thursday, 5:30 to 8:20. Regarding electives, you may register for any course offered as an elective in the college. If you want to take an elective outside of the college, you may do so. However, you must obtain approval from your advisor. During the summer, I serve as your advisor. Thus, you would need my approval. You will be assigned a permanent advisor at the beginning of the school year, and from that point going forward, you will need to obtain their permission. We offer a variety of advanced research classes during the spring semester, and you may opt to take any of the courses offered with 2 exceptions: social work 565, school social work research, and social work 505, juvenile and criminal justice research methods are required for respective specializations: school social work and social work within justice systems. These courses can only be taken by these specialization students. Students in all other specializations may choose from the other offerings. And before you become anxious about all of the information that I'm sharing with you, again, there is a recording of this presentation that will be made available to you, as well as the slides that I'm sharing with you now. So you'll be able to review this information at a later time. There are also some courses that require certain prerequisites or permission of the instructor. These requirements cannot be bypassed. If you are unsure whether you meet the requirement, please discuss it with myself or your advisor. Remember, during the summer, I serve as your academic advisor, and at the beginning of the semester, you will be assigned a permanent academic advisor. If you are unable to register for a required course, please contact my office so that we can investigate the problem. There may be a university hold on your registration if you are unable to register for your required classes or an elective because the section was closed. So please, again, contact my office. We ensure that there is a seat for each student in the required core classes, but we cannot guarantee that we can open extra seats in a particular section or time of a required class, or in an elective to accommodate a specific request. So here is the plan of study for the child and family specialization. There are no restrictions for your elective choices or research beyond what was mentioned about school social work and social work within justice systems research courses. For the mental health specialization, there are also, again, no restrictions for your elective choices or research, again, beyond what was mentioned regarding school social work and social work within justice systems. The organization and community practice specialization, again, there are no restrictions for electives or research courses beyond what I previously mentioned about those two specializations. And then when we move into school social work, for school social work, you have two restrictions. As previously mentioned, you are required to enroll in the School Social Work 565 research course. In addition, you are required to use one of your elective choices to complete SPED 410, which is Survey of Characteristics of Learners with Disabilities. This course is required by the Illinois State Board of Education to obtain the Professional Educator License School Social Work endorsement. This class is online and offered through the College of Education, and we provide you with information about the class as a courtesy. However, we cannot override registrations if a section is full. And again, the other specialization that is the research is required is for social work within justice systems. So again, these two specialization areas, school social work and social work within justice systems, require you to take a specific social work research course that aligns with that particular specialization. Now I will turn the mic over, so to speak, to Director Brown regarding field education.
Good morning, everyone. Well, good afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Welcome to Jane Addams, and welcome to this orientation as well. This will be brief because many of you have been through this process before when you were completing your BSW field placement requirement. But did want to share a few things with you as every program has its own special nuances. So to begin with, I'll start by covering the goals, which are on the next slide. So the goals of field education at Jane Addams are the following. One, to provide an opportunity for students to develop as professionals in the field of social work. Since you're in a specialization, your field experience should be tailored around that specialization. So if it's mental health or um, organizations and community practice, which is more macro level, your experiences should be tailored to that specialization. The second goal is to provide students with an opportunity to apply the theories and the concepts that you're learning in the classroom to practice situations. So you're actually working with real people, coming to real agencies and organizations with real needs. And lastly, our third goal is that in field, you will develop a professional identity consistent with social work values and ethics, our NASW Code of Ethics that define the principles and standards of everyday social work. On the next slide, the field education, we want to remind you that field education is, in fact, a course. It is a class, and you must register and enroll in these courses. So Social Work 572 is Field 3, and Social Work 573 is Field 4. You're required to complete 630 hours over the course of the academic year, and that generally works out to be about 21 hours per week. Some places may ask you to do a few more, and it may end up being 21 to 24 hours per week. Please note, in the first few weeks of fall semester, there will be a mandatory orientation for field just to discuss some of these requirements and for you to meet your field liaison. I also want to note, want to look quickly, just wanted to note the school specialization students enroll in the same courses, the same course number. Be careful that you're enrolling in the one that is for your specialization. And they're required to do the same number of hours, but they follow the academic calendar of their field placement. So schools, sometimes school districts sometimes let out a little later than our university does, and you're required to remain in that field placement until their academic calendar has ended. Thank you again. I'm going to stick around to answer any field questions you might have at the end of this presentation.
So I'm going to come back in and talk a bit about communication. One of the things that really is an important component of the MSW experience here at UIC is communication. Each one of you have a UIC email address. And by now, you have probably already received email messages to that email address from UIC. As of now, the college is using the personal email address we have on file for you to send email from the Office of Academic Affairs and Student Services with the subject heading Jane Mail. However, no later than August 1st, after we have confirmed that all students have registered, the college will send email only to your UIC email account. While it is possible to set it up to do so, please do not forward your UIC email to your personal email account. Personal email accounts often filter UIC email into spam because it may appear as an unwanted mass email. Many students, unfortunately, have set up their university accounts to forward to their personal email accounts, frequently fail to receive critical UIC email, and we don't want that to happen to you because it's possible that you will miss critical deadlines or even miss out on a scholarship or other special opportunities because it went to spam and you never saw it. The university and the college send a significant amount of email. You may be tempted to delete it without reading it, but I encourage you to resist that temptation. Here are a couple of examples of what can happen when you miss or fail to read your university email. A student missed the deadline for opting out of campus care, the university's student health insurance, because the email reminders went to spam and they never saw them. This mistake resulted in their being billed hundreds of dollars for health care coverage that they didn't need because they were already covered. Also, when it was time to file the UIC for the UIC required intent to graduate form, a student deleted the email, failed to submit the form, and was unable to graduate in May as planned. They had to wait until August to graduate, and this impacted their job prospects. Unfortunately, there are many other examples. The point is, it's important to make sure you get and read all email from the university and the college. Also, when you receive university or college email, please pay attention to whether there is a particular person to respond to or contact. Please do not use the reply or reply all button. This may cause either a bounce back or your reply is not received, or it might result in hundreds or even thousands reading content not meant for them to have. You are responsible for reading your email. It is the college's primary way of communicating with you. Registration. So here is just an example of what registration could possibly look like. You each should have received information regarding your specialization courses to register for in the email inviting you to this webinar. Please only register for just one section of each class. Please also make sure to register for the classes associated with your specialization. They are practice, policy, and field education courses designated for each specialization. Included in your registration document was also information about my.uic.edu, that portal, and the link you will need to activate your UIC Net ID and password and enterprise ID and password. You will also register for your classes on my.uic.edu. The fall semester. There are some important dates for you to remember for fall. Classes begin on Monday, August 26th. Remember, you will be taking the required classes on Mondays and Wednesdays. During the first 10 days of the semester, students may adjust their schedules to drop or add classes if there has been any error in registration. Another important date to keep in mind is Friday, September 6th, as this is the official last day you will be able to withdraw from a class without financial penalties and the last day to drop a course without receiving a W or withdrawal grade on academic records. All courses dropped after the 6th will have a W grade on transcripts. Keep in mind that because of the tightly sequenced nature of our curriculum, dropping a required course will delay your program completion by a year in most cases. Note, our Thanksgiving holiday is both Thursday and Friday, and an additional day has been added to this holiday observance week. Wednesday of this week is now considered a non-instruction day. Also, the fall semester ends on December 6th with exam week December 9th through the 13th. Advising matters. Some of you all may have encountered a problem with registering for courses because it detected that you were a new student. And if that was the case, you perhaps reached out to Leslie Graham, the records officer, to assist you. However, this slide is referring to your academic advisor who will be assigned to you in the fall. It would be good to reach out to that academic advisor to get acquainted. If you have questions during the summer, however, you should email jacswoss@uic.edu, and someone will contact you to discuss your concerns or answer your questions. You can also email myself at cmckay@uic.edu. That C as in cat, is M as in Mary, C as in cat, KAY@uic.edu. And I'll be able to answer questions that you may have. As you move through the program, the student handbook and your academic advisor will be useful for you to speak with and to review and obtain information about campus resources to support you. This includes matters that pertain to your classroom academic issues, as well as to begin discussing your career interests and selection of elective options to support your career and educational goals. Additional information. Here we'll be talking about additional resources and information available to you on the UIC and Jane Addams websites. I encourage you to take the time to visit them, not now, but after this presentation. Just a few key pieces that I want to highlight for you are related to tasks that you must complete before classes begin. Preferred name. Students who would like to use a name other than their legal first name are able to enter a preferred first name, update an existing preferred first name, or delete an existing preferred first name through student self-service found at the link here, my.uic.edu. Please review the university policy for acceptable uses of a preferred first name. Students who enter or update a preferred first name later than 2 weeks before the start of a semester may not see the preferred first name replicated in some systems for several days. Additional information is available at the links listed here in this slide. And you may also contact the registration helpline, registration@uic.edu, for more information. And again, you'll have access to these slides with these live links, and you'll be able to click on them to reach the websites assigned to them. Blackboard, for those who are coming from another institution and may use other learning management systems other than Blackboard, the college uses Blackboard for all classes. Blackboard is where you will access your syllabi and related course materials. Once you register, you are automatically enrolled in the instructor's course site. While some instructors may open and invite you to access the content in their course site earlier, all course sites and syllabi will be available to you before classes start. If you go to Blackboard website, you will not be able to see the course you are enrolled in until the course site is activated. UPass. Check the UIC website and look for an email notification for information about when and how to obtain your UPass. The university provides a CTA Ventre UPass for all eligible students, and this pass provides unlimited use of CTA trains and buses during the academic year. UPass Plus is also a piloted program that has been added to UPass. UPass Plus allows for you to not only access the CTA, but also the Metroline systems. And so I encourage you to look at the UPass website offered through the UIC. University Bookstore. Once you register, You should also be able to view the books required for your courses on the UIC bookstore website. There will be multiple sections of each of your required courses, so be sure to select the course CRN that you are registered for. You are provided this information in your registration information letter. While the books will be available there, you are not obligated to purchase them from the UIC bookstore. You are free to obtain them from whatever source you choose. Additional reading materials of your courses should also be available within your instructor's Blackboard course site or through the UIC Library electronic resources. The UIC ID cards. The Student Center East ID Center will be open 8:30 to 5 p.m. each day. The university will be updating the ID Center website and will most likely send an email providing information about when and how to get your UIC ID. Please check the website periodically for information and instructions. And again, if you're on campus, you see the address here listed. And look for 8:30 to 5:30 as far as their operating time, Monday through Friday. Campus care, as I mentioned in the earlier explanation in regards to the importance of reviewing your emails, here again is information about campus care. The university requires that all students be covered by health insurance. If you are not covered, UIC provides the Campus Care Student Health Benefit Program. Students with comparable health insurance can waive out by submitting an online waiver form before the enrollment change deadline. Otherwise, you will automatically be assessed the premium, which cannot be canceled or refunded. You will want to be sure to go to the Campus Care website before the start of the semester to review the benefits and enrollment, opt-out policies, and current fees. The dates and fees listed here are for 2024, but again, I encourage you to go to their Campus Care website for further information. DRC. Under the UIC policy, any student needing to request accommodations for a disability should contact the Disability Resource Center. Go to the link here on this slide and complete the online student registration form. This form cannot be completed until you have been assigned your 9-digit UIN because it will be needed. The form will take a few minutes to complete. This form will not be reviewed until you call the office to schedule an intake appointment. Call the DRC at 312-413-2183 to schedule an intake appointment. The intake meeting with a disability specialist will give you an opportunity to discuss your disability-related needs. These meetings typically last 30 to 60 minutes. Online appointment scheduling is unavailable at this time. If calling in presents a barrier, you may call 711 for the relay service. Gather your medical documentation. You will be required to provide documentation to register with the DRC and receive disability-related accommodations. Documentation is one piece of the accommodation process, but please do not be deterred from starting the intake process because of a lack of documentation. Disability specialists are happy to meet and consult or to assist you in collecting documentation if necessary. Once the staff there have verified the nature of the disability and the accommodation needed, a letter will be written by them describing the nature of the accommodation needed, but not disclosing the nature of the disability. You must show that accommodation letter to the instructor of every class in which an accommodation is requested. This includes field education. Letters of accommodation are not retroactive. In the case of field instruction classes, show it to the director of field education and your field instructor. Further are available on their website at drc.uic.edu. The Jane Addams website is another important resource for all students in the college. You can find the MSW Student Handbook, which includes detailed information about college policies and procedures. You can look up your professors and learn more about the engagement of the college in the community, the type of research being conducted, and many other important pieces of information. So if you have not already frequented this website, I encourage you to do so. Admissions and financial aid offices. I encourage you to contact the UIC Office of Student Financial Aid for any questions related to your financial aid situation. The office is located in the Student Services Building, or SSB, at 1200 West Harrison, Suite 1800. In some cases, you may need to contact our college financial aid office, and you can speak with the Assistant Dean, Maribel Flores, for admissions and financial aid. And again, here you'll see her email address as well as the email address of her assistant. One of the wonderful things about the UIC campus is that we are also host to the Jane Addams Hull House Museum. It is here because Hull House many years ago was actually located at our location. And so I encourage you to go onto their website to reserve an actual visit. You can engage in a self-guided virtual tour at your convenience, and it's open Tuesday through Friday on the campus. Coming down to our last slide, and then we'll also entertain questions that you have. Please stay posted for any frequently asked questions that will provide additional information about this particular webinar and the college. And I also want to encourage you to attend the new student welcome, which will be in person on August 22nd, 1 to 3 p.m. And stay tuned for the location of where that will be held. And in our last slide here is information about how to reach us, the email address that I gave earlier, as well as the members of the Academic Affairs Office and Student Services. And so I'll stop sharing and we will begin to answer questions that you all may have.
A question a student had during this presentation was, when is tuition due?
So tuition is due. The bursar's office will be reaching out to every student about when your tuition is due. I encourage you to, again, go onto the financial aid website, but also to the UIC website and look for tuition. And then there you will also find out the schedule for when tuition is due and understand how services and how credits are assessed for students. What are the other questions that you all may have? So I see a question as it relates to Wednesday classes had been full. Is it okay if I have class on Wednesday as all other classes had been full? So your required classes are going to be on Tuesday and Thursday. Those are the specialization courses that you as an advanced standing student will need to take. Any classes that are held on Wednesday are most likely for the generalist year, unless it is an elective course that is being offered. But your required courses for your specialization, again, will be on Tuesday and Thursday. So I see a question that, again, Regina has answered in regards to the UPass. And again, that is directing you to the UPass webpage so that you can get further information regarding that. Are there other questions that you all have? But I believe Director Brown can speak to this question as it relates to Sonia.
Hi. It says I tried to log into the Sonia webpage, but it told me I needed to fill out the COVID form. However, when you click the link, nothing came up. Who should I reach out to? I will actually reach out to my assistant. You can type any Sonia questions you have to jacswfield@uic.edu. I'm going to put that in the chat box so you all can see it. But I will speak with my assistant about what you're experiencing with the COVID form.
A student would like to know if they only have to take required classes.
So as an advanced standing student, you are taking required classes in addition to your electives. So you will have 2 elective courses that you must take. And so most likely that's going to be scheduled, and again, for you for the fall and spring semesters. But that your elective courses are also a required component to your plan of study. So you must take your required courses for your specialization and then the electives that will align for that. You can take electives within the college, and then if there's an elective that you want to take outside of the college, you also need to have permission by your academic advisor. And as I mentioned, during the summer, I will serve as your academic advisor. In the fall, you'll be assigned to an academic advisor who will support you throughout the rest of the program. So I see a question as it relates to when is orientation. So you are in orientation. This is the orientation, the new student orientation for advanced standing. What I was mentioning in those final slides was the new welcome meeting that will be held on August 22nd. So again, that's going to be August 22nd, 1 to 3. The location is yet to be determined, and so we'll get that information to you via email. But remember, that information is going to most likely come to you in August, if not before. After August 1st, we'll be utilizing your UIC email only and not your personal email. So I see a question about the first 10 days of class. So it should, that first 10 days of class, it's for all classes. So not just Monday and Wednesday, but also Tuesday and Thursday. And so it's the first 10 days of classes. Classes begin on Monday. And so again, Monday for you, and I'll allow to speak to this, what's going to happen as far as when you begin your field placement, but your classes are going to be held on Tuesday and Thursday. But again, that's the first 10 days of the semester. And then you have that opportunity to add or drop classes. So Director Brown, did you want to speak to the time when students will begin their field placement?
Certainly. So the majority of field placements begin the week after the first week of class. So classroom instruction begins the week of August 26th. And then typically field placements will begin that following week. There are some agencies that have a later start, and they may inform you that they won't begin until a little later. You just need to keep your liaison apprised of when you're beginning if it's not the traditional start time, or if they're requesting you to begin early. Do not begin early without checking in with your liaison first. Thank you.
All right, I see a question as it relates to list of electives that we can take outside of the college. So if there are electives that you begin to explore across the campus, unfortunately, there's not a list because there's a massive number of courses that are available to you. My suggestion, if you have found a particular course that you're interested in taking, and particularly if you're interested in taking that and signing up for it for fall, reach out to me and I will, again, my email address is cmckay@uic.edu, and let me know what that course is. Here are the requirements, however, for any elective that's taken outside of the College of Social Work. It must be a graduate level course. It must be 3 credit hours, and it must make sense educationally with your degree. So nothing against basket weaving, but it can't be basket weaving. So it has to be something that has some relevance to your MSW program. But again, if you are finding there's a course that you would like to take as an elective and it's outside of the college, reach out to me and explain what that course is, and then we can have a further conversation. Let's see, I believe I've registered for the correct courses, but is there an advisor or someone to notify me? Yes, there is. So Leslie Graham is our records officer, and if you have registered incorrectly for a particular course or section, she will reach out to you so that you can have further clarification about what went wrong and how you can re-register. So the question I see, registration conflict for my required courses that I'm not sure how to resolve. I suspect that since no morning or afternoon sections were available by the time I got through to register, that I'll need to somehow appeal to other students to swap who may be more flexible in their schedule. I can't do Tuesday night. I can't be in both required classes simultaneously for the Thursday evening. So Stephen, we will reach out to you if there's a particular issue as far as registering. And again, look up what your specialization is. So my suggestion is to do 2 things. You can reach out to myself or Leslie Graham. Her email address is leslieg@uic.edu, and then share what that situation is. All right, I see still confused about Tuesday, Thursday classes will be on Monday and Wednesdays, the first 2 weeks. My field placement will begin Monday, 26th. Okay, so again, classes for advanced standing students, because you have already satisfied your generalist curriculum through the BSW program. The specialization curriculum is what you will be attending to as an advanced standing students, and those classes are held on Tuesdays and Thursdays only. Your field placement or internship begins the week after classes begin. Classes begin Monday, August 26th. So technically, you're not in classes on Monday because your classes, again, are held on Tuesdays and Thursdays. The Monday, August 26th is the beginning of the fall semester, if that makes better sense. And so that's when the semester begins on that Monday. But your classes are going to be held on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And as Director Brown mentioned, that your field placement will begin the week after classes begin. So if that helps with the clarification, I hope that that helps. If not, again, reach out to myself if you have further questions about when do you begin your semester. All right. Other questions that folks have? I see if we are in a school specialization and the school district starts prior to the first week of UIC classes, do we start our internship when the school district starts or after we start classes? So, Director Brown, can you speak to that?
Hello, for all school specialization students, you follow the academic calendar of your school district. So if that school um, begins and requests that you start when they start, usually it'll be about a week before they start, then that is when you begin your internship. That is only for school specialization placements. If you are in another specialization and they ask you to start earlier than September 3rd, which is the week after class is starting, please get, you have to get permission from the field department. You can contact me or your field liaison.
Are there other questions that you have? In, okay. Sorry, I know you said that this, but I can't remember what the exact tells semester internships. Okay. For the entire semester, for you are going to have 630. Is that correct, Director Brown?
Actually, that's for the entire year. So for the academic year, you will complete 630 hours. And for each semester, you should complete 315 hours. So that's how it breaks down. 315 per semester and 630 for the entire academic year.
Are there any other questions before we end this webinar? And again, there will be a recording of this webinar as well as with the slides that accompany us. And so you'll be able to refer to the materials after this time. Do we have field internship during Christmas break?
Hello. So you will actually negotiate your hours, your field placement over holidays and breaks. You'll negotiate that with your field instructor. The field instructor is the person that is supervising your field placement. We as a department do not recommend you take the entirety of the winter break off. The winter break for students is fairly long. It's about 4 to 5 weeks, between 4 and 5 weeks. And a lot of students report when they've taken that much time, then they feel like they're starting all over when they return in January. So yes, we do recommend that you take some time, but not the entirety of the break, and that's to be negotiated with your field instructor.
Jody, great question. So I know you stated that our UIC emails will be used after August 1st, but can I use it now to reach out to who I need to regarding Sonia, or should I use my personal email? I encourage you to use your UIC email now. Absolutely. Again, we're giving you that kind of window to use your personal email addresses just because we know that sometimes things change and we need to confirm who is actually registered to begin classes in the fall. So, but we encourage you, if you have a UIC email address, use it now. Absolutely. Great question.
Thank you for asking that, Jody. I just want to add on to that. I actually reached out to my assistant who has already emailed you at both your UIC and personal email addresses to find out more information and help resolve your issue. I see the next question is a field question as well. It says, I have not secured an internship yet. I am still working on getting one. If I don't get one before class starts, what happens? I have been waiting on more contacts from my field liaison. So we will continue to work with you to secure a placement. It's very unlikely that you will not have one at the start of the semester, as long as you and the field liaison are working diligently to locate one. There are occasionally instances, however, where a student will be, the worst case scenario would be that the student will begin a little later than the start of the semester, but that is not super common, and it's a very small percentage of students.
We are coming down to the end of our time with you, so I want to make sure that we don't miss any questions, any burning questions that you still have. So we'll give you about a few more minutes if there are questions that you want to raise. And again, these may be questions that you raise and other folks also have the same questions, so I encourage you to do so. So seeing none, and we respect your time, and I want to thank you all for signing in. Okay, we've got one more. Okay, when do I find out about scholarship and are there TA opportunities? Great question. So here's where I would encourage you to reach out to the college's financial aid office, and that is the assistant dean for financial aid, and that would be Maribel Flores. Her email address is mflores, Flores, 6@uic.edu. She can speak to you about any scholarship opportunities. TA opportunities, teaching assistant opportunities, are reserved primarily for our doctoral students. There may be on occasion a faculty member is allowing for a master level student to become a TA, but most likely it's just for the doctoral students. But the scholarship opportunities, reach out to Maribel Flores, the Assistant Dean for Financial Aid, and she can give you further information. All right, so I see that the question about liaison has been answered.
This question says if they have not heard from their field liaison in a week, make sure you follow up with them first. If you have not heard anything in a week, follow up with an email to them. And then if you don't hear anything the following day, within 24 hours, then reach out to myself. Now, actually, I will be out of the office next week, unfortunately. So you may reach out to my assistant who will make sure to get in touch with that liaison. So I'm going to give you the assistant's name and email in the chat. Her name is Tasha McCullough. And her email is but do give those liaisons at least a week from your first initial meeting, as they are still trying to contact agencies and they're waiting for the agencies to get back to them to let them know if they're still taking interns.
Is there a calendar that is accessible with all the important dates? Currently, there's not a calendar other than the one that I showed you in the slides in regards to the fall semester. And that really speaks to what I was mentioning as far as the add and drop dates that you need to adhere to as it relates to registering for classes. But you'll also receive information as it relates to dates for field, specifically to your UIC email addresses, but also probably to your personal email addresses as well, and other information that you'll need as it relates to the fall semester. But again, that slide that I showed you regarding fall semester, those would be the dates that you want to adhere to. One of the things that we also are known for, as I mentioned, is sending out information via Jane Mail. So if there's some new scholarship or new opportunity that's coming up that we want to make sure whereof, we will be sending that information via Jane Mail. So please, please, please do not have your Jane Mail or UIC email forwarded to your personal email addresses, because again, it's possible that that information may be missed. Any final questions? So Jane Mail is what the college uses as far as our college emails. And so it will say, as I shared on the slide, Jane Mail. And so you'll actually see that as you receive that information, there will be a huge banner across that email and it speaks to Jane Mail. And so that way you'll identify this is coming from the college and I need to pay attention to it. And then your UIC email, that's going to be different. It won't be Jane Mail, but the Jane Mail will be coming specifically from the college. Any final questions? So I want to thank you for attending this webinar today. And again, we've given you quite a bit of information. There's going to be a recording of this webinar. It will be posted on the website for the college, as well as the slides that we presented to you today. But we also have given you information as far as how to contact us if you have questions. So please utilize those opportunities to connect with us, and we'll make sure that you get securely routed toward a successful semester starting in the fall. So thank you again, and we will see you soon.